as the cocaine cowboys dominated the Miami drug scene. Even in the face of a 1985 arrest and subsequent conviction, Griselda managed to maintain a long-standing presence in the cocaine industry until she was ultimately killed in a 2012 drive-by shooting after a return to Medellin. Number 5. Kunsa. Undoubtedly the most famous drug lord of the infamous Golden Triangle, this narco was less about glitz and more about guerrilla warfare, though the Burma-born Chan Chi-Fu's moniker, Kunsa, which means Prince Prosperous, may suggest otherwise. And as the commander-in-chief of his own army, Kunsa evolved into the definitive opium dealer. He also worked with the aforementioned Frank Lucas to bring 90% pure drug product into the United States, effectively hooking even more addicts due to the substantial quality increase. Kunsa supposedly surrendered to authorities in 1996, but was never arrested, meaning he managed to stay a free man in self-imposed retirement until his death in 2007. Number 4. Amado Carrillo Fuentes. In 2014, the leader of the violent Juarez cartel, Vicente Carrillo Fuentes, was arrested, ending a turbulent reign over Mexico. But it was his older brother, Amado Carrillo Fuentes, that originally made the organization such a threat to their peers in the cocaine industry. Known as El Señor de los Cielos, or Lord of the Skies, Amado Carrillo Fuentes took control in 1993 upon the murder of boss Rafael Aguilar Guajardo. Fuentes' time in the drug trade earned him as much as $25 billion, while his jet fleet used for laundering money back and forth between Mexico and Colombia earned him respect, if not notoriety. In a strange twist of events, however, Fuentes mysteriously passed away during a 1997 plastic surgery procedure, while the doctors involved paid the ultimate price. Number 3. Freeway Rick Ross. Not to be confused with the rapper Rick Ross. This is the man that controlled the Los Angeles drug trade for the entirety of the 80s. In fact, the influence of Freeway Rick Ross extended deep into American pop culture, as he was the most prolific cocaine distributor thanks to a Nicaraguan connection. What began as a Southern Californian operation evolved into a billion-dollar business, with Ross becoming directly tied to the Iran-Contra affair, as depicted in the 2014 film Philip Messenger.
I was buying 100 kilos a week, selling $3 million a day, and still couldn't get rid of that inventory fast enough, man. It was raining coke.
It's safe to say there's never been an American narco more talked about than Freeway Rick Ross.
You start to be around a certain thing and then you kind of get immune to it, you know, where it's not really, it doesn't bother you anymore.
Number 2, Joaquin Guzman, also known as El Chapo. Since the late 70s, this elusive drug lord has been affiliated with organized crime. As the kingpin of the Sinaloa cartel, El Chapo has been infamously connected to the influx of cocaine in the United States. Even so, he's become somewhat of a mythical figure for his brazen escapes from prison.
Lost visual contact with
And certainly for his controversial interview with Sean Penn.
We all want this drug problem to stop.
Over the course of several decades, Joaquin Guzman Loera established himself as a vicious and uncompromising narco, showing no mercy for his enemies, while accumulating unfathomable power and wealth in the process. Known as the last godfather, El Chapo's reach extends far beyond his native Mexico.
Will El Chapo get extradited? What will become of his empire? Who's really winning the war on drugs?
It's a deadly combination.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
The Americans quickly whisked him away to stand trial on conspiracy, drug, and gun charges. Charges he has since pleaded guilty to.
Number 1, Pablo Escobar.
He was moving hundreds of tons of cocaine to the United States every year.
In life, this Colombian was a folk hero to some, and public enemy number 1 for others. And in death, Pablo Escobar's legacy has been extensively documented, both in film and television.
Breaks it off usually after about 3 to 4 steps and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away
In
from
his
the
rise to
football
power,
and get
El
the quarterback
Petrino
a really
capitalized
nice
fully on the public's wants and needs, manipulating those around him while silencing anyone who posed a threat. As a result, Escobar's unprecedented empire made Colombia the central headquarters for a worldwide import-export operation, with international authorities at the mercy of something they didn't fully understand. But as Pablo Escobar continued to push back against law enforcement pushed even harder, leading to a violent yet final confrontation in 1993, in which he was killed by Colombian National Police.
They say when a nuclear holocaust destroys the world, only the cockroaches will survive. I guess they're wrong.
But in this case, he didn't get that far away.
Do you agree with our list? Who do you think is the most influential narco on our list? For more addictive top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Sells a product that's better than the competition. Price that's lower than the competition.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Donald Trump is what Americans love.
And here he'll get it down to 7. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
The American dream. So, he looks like a boss to everybody. Americans love to have a boss. So,
and the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it 2nd and goal.
And him running the football is not something the defenses spend a lot of time preparing for. But this guy has a survival instinct and a knack for knowing when exactly to do it.
And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot on the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
You got any popped up in the field in the corridor? Guys talking about the 1%. I mean, you know, to me, it's like he's been in there 30 years, and, you know, what have you done? What have you done? You've been there. You've been up in there. So, what are you going to do?
This opening drive is taken into the 2, but now they come up on a 3rd and goal.
What's going to happen, Vic? Where you
Trying
been?
to run now with Jennings. And it'll be a minimum pickup here as it will take us to the end of the 1st quarter. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gauton, and it's the Giants with the football here as we begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. And it appears they'll go for it here on 4th down. A big call on the game's opening drive. That's a sneak, and he is here. Touchdown, New York. D-line down and take it in. And the Giants take it right down and score on the opening drive.
Quarterback.
That's just a solid, methodical drive to start this game.
I don't see many things, but I welcome the opportunity of having Dak playing at this level
and then running it into the end zone. I'm just telling you, partner, when you run it in rather than throw it in, that hurts a defense psychologically a heck of a lot more.
Skip, I said it from the beginning. If Dak Prescott has only lost 1 game, I wouldn't go back to Tony Romo. Tony Romo in his career has missed the equivalent of 2 football seasons because of injury. Now, I know they're saying, well, they're going to expand the game plan. But when you expand the game plan with Tony Romo, you also expand the mistakes because he will take unnecessary risks. Dak Prescott is not going to take those risks because he knows they've instilled in him. We can't turn the football over. We can't have you put the ball in harm's way. Let's run it with Zeke, be 3rd and manageable, and then you can either pick up the 1st down with your feet, or you can dump it off to Beasley or one of these other guys, and they can get 2 or 3 yards for the 1st down. We stay on rhythm. we keep what I think, and I'm sure they think the same thing in the meeting, that the defensive side of the football is where their weakest is. So we can minimize their opportunities to play. We greatly increase our chances of winning. And when Romo played last year, and I know it's a small sample size, but he had 5 touchdowns and 7 receptions in 4 games. You project that out over the season, you're talking about 20 touchdowns and 28 interceptions. That's not good. I get it. This is a very, very similar situation to what they had in the league. Now, no one knew Tom Brady was going to be Tom Brady as we see today. Drew Bledsoe was more accomplished than Tony Romo because he had taken the team to the Super Bowl. So Bill Belichick said, you know what? This guy's playing better now than what in the last we saw Tony Romo. I mean, Bill Belichick, he said basically Tom Brady gave us a better chance because he played better than Bledsoe. If I'm looking at Dak Prescott and I'm looking at Tony Romo, the last time we saw them play, Dak Prescott is outplaying Tony Romo. Now, if you want to go back and look at 2014 and say, okay, that was Tony Romo's best season, but he's been unhelped and he's been more nicked than he has been helped. He's turned the football over in the most inopportune time. All turnovers are not created equal. When you turn the ball over and where you turn the football over at weighs heavily and how costly a turnover is. So with that being said, if Dak Prescott goes to Lambeau, beats Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, look, they know better than Skip. I don't think so. But having been around this situation, if I'm a player on that team, I love Tony. But if Dak Prescott goes to Green Bay and beats Green Bay, Dak Prescott
turn and give to Charles. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. Just 4 yards on the pickup, and that's good enough to extend the drive.
2001 run. And at that point, the Patriots were 5-5. So Belichick had to make a really gutsy decision to say, no, I'm sticking with the kid from Michigan who ran that awkward-looking 40.
Yes.
I'm sticking with that guy.
Yes.
And they ripped off 6 straight wins to end the regular season,
The
as
defensive
we all
line
know,
disperses
and
a
3
little bit
wins
here, maybe
in
expecting
the
a pass.
postseason to win the Super Bowl.
But what people don't realize is that Brady got hurt in the division. It was Drew Bledsoe that started the championship game, and then Coach Belichick went back to
It was huge to have him there,
Yes.
have him ready. Now, back to what you just said. I said 3 weeks ago, sitting in the seat, if they go 5-1 going into the bye week, we have to stick with that. Did I think they could go 5-1? I hope so, but that was against some really long odds because of Cincinnati and then at Green Bay. Did I really think they could win both? Thought they could beat Cincinnati. At that point, I didn't think they could beat Green Bay. We'll talk about Green Bay in just a little bit here, so I'll save my thoughts on that. But in this case, if Dak manages to go 5-1, not only do you have to give him the job for a week, you have to give him the job for the rest of the year. You can't put him on a short leash. You have to hand him the reins. You just have to say, here, it's your football team. Don't look over your shoulder.
No, he has no lead. He has nothing. He just
Here we go.
down.
And I'm so with your point. Tony Romo was great 2 years ago. But I watch him with one eye closed because he's high risk, high reward. But he's high risk. He is the flip side of Dak Prescott. My blood pressure has fallen greatly on Sunday afternoon because of Dak Prescott. Because he plays so carefully, yet with confidence and poise and aggression. He's still an aggressive player. I mean, they convert 50% of their third downs. You can't play cautious and tentative and convert 50% of your third downs. So I love the way he's the flip side of changing the face of the whole team. Because now the whole team is trusting the quarterback. When in the old days, they would trust him to throw 2 big bombs to Dez, and they would think, yeah, but he'll probably throw a couple of picks also. That's out the window, at least for now. Let's see how he does in Green Bay. And, yeah, Tony Romo is 36. My issue with Tony is, even if they threw him back into the fire, how long would he last? Seriously, could he last 4 plays or 6 plays? I don't know.
Then you upset the rhythm that's going right now. This is a great rhythm. Your own course. And he's doing it's like a child. I always drove better when an adult wasn't in the car because they made me nervous. Because now, when I'm in the car by myself, I'm free. I'm not with turn here. Put your blinker on. Did you see?
So the
When Tony, if Tony comes back and you could be like, well, if I throw this ball here, what if he get tipped? You don't want, because now he knows he's the guy. Tony's not playing, so he can play free. And that's what you want from your rookie quarterback. You want him to play free and not constantly look. If I do this, you don't want that. He played too well. Get out of the ball game. But Jerry and Jason says Tony's healthy, fully healthy. He's coming back in. But maybe he's not fully healthy in week 8, week 9, week 10, week 11. So, they keep stretching it out. So we'll see.
It could do Tony wonders to have a whole year to heal.
Well, if he has a whole year to heal and he doesn't play, he's not coming back to Dallas next year, Skip. You know that.
We got a long way to go.
That's a fragile situation. Could you imagine taking that away from Dak right now?
It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9. And they need 10 yards out of it on third.
I hate you so much right now.
Now the play clock hits 0.
You love all-day breakfast, but you don't love that you can't get all your favorites. But now you can get more of what you love, so you can find something else to not love. Like hearing the sound of your own voice. Get more choices you love, now with all-day breakfast.
Antonio Brown was told by the NFL to remove his cleats with Muhammad Ali's image yesterday. Brown wore the cleats for the first 2 series, but played the rest of the first half in white and black.
And some changes here as the D-line separates some.
Palmer. He's faced nearly $50,000 in fines for excessive touchdown celebrations and uniform violations.
Screen pass to Charles.
We're joined by former Pro Bowler.
And he'll go down at the Giants will stop play as they take a time.
Should the NFL allow players to wear
It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime.
I'm sniffing at your opinion. Oh, okay. Well, I think they should. Back in 2012, there was the whole Sandy Hook shooting, and I will.
So it looks like the offense isn't going anywhere. They're going to go for it on 4th and 7.
I think we played the.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here.
Or a tie that says Sandy Hook.
Here we go on 4th. Smith.
I was aware of.
He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And this is incomplete. Oh, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Giants are going to get the football back. And New York set to take the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
They hope it'll be that easy, right?
I did not.
Take exactly what happened before.
I think the NFL
they have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
Because we're not getting people. So I'm going to let you.
Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Well, with this Chiefs team, we saw a little bit of the yin and the yang that can happen in the NFL. Week 3, 8 turnovers against the Jets, and then that Week 4 game against Pittsburgh, no turnovers. They gave up 43 points.
There's a correlation there, isn't there? All right, because they exist and feed off of taking the ball away from the other team, and just as you mentioned, taking away 8 times against the Jets, almost like they ran through their quarters in that game, and it came a cropper against Pittsburgh.
The shoes that you wear in the game are only the shoes that will be allowed in pregame. And I said this earlier, Skip, I said this is why the NFL, because they can't make any money off it. Now, they have designated week 13.
And that's why
Your
defensive
turn.
coordinators
Now,
always
they
preach
have to
11
approve the
guys
call.
to the ball.
If they don't approve it, you can't wear the shoes. So if you're just trying to start a foundation or hope for a call, NFL might turn it down. And they say they have 400 guys already petitioned for the call. And I've always said this. This is why, look, I'm not saying the NFL is not sensitive to breast cancer, but it was only when they realized they could make money. The same thing with the camel. It was only with, because think about it, Skip, they were charged in the military to come down there and wave the flag on the field and you get started at halftime or before the game. They were charging teams. Once that came out, then all of a sudden say, you know what, we were wrong with that, we will give you the money back. But we're still going to do this camel because we can make money. Look, let's just go back to where it was. Wear the shoes that you're going to wear in the game and just leave it be. If you want to keep the October for National Breast Cancer Awareness, I'm fine with that. But keep the shoes because guys are going to keep going with these themes. They're going to have Ali, they're going to have the superheroes, the super friends. There's always going to be something because what the NFL does a great job of is suppressing guys' personality. When guys wear themed shoes, they're trying to express themselves. You can't celebrate, you get a penalty. You can't have 3 guys celebrate, you get a penalty. You have helmet, shoulder pads, nobody gets a penalty. I do something.
Down as the
I
down
want
both
to show
sides
you
know
my
they absolutely have to
personality
win,
without having to do
and it
something.
namely gave the defense pressure on the quarterback.
You see me
But
and
pressure on the
this
quarterback
is
with
my
contact,
personality. This is
that's
who
how
I
you
am.
end up
The
winning.
NFL says, no, we really would like to suppress that. So moving forward, I don't care because if you remember, Skip, I know you will. Peyton Manning was Johnny Unitas, the great Johnny Unitas fan. Peyton wanted to wear high-top black cleats. And the NFL said, absolutely not. Well, if you won't let one of your great all-time great current players do that, all-time great former players.
As he throws, and this is going to be incomplete.
So now, I just don't like the fact I love the NFL because a lot of what I have playing the game, and we talk about the game up here, Skip, on a daily basis. But the NFL,
of Washington,
it's
people
all
don't think about him as often as they should. He broke Kellen Winslow's record for the fastest
and they
200
want to
catches.
control everything. They can't get a piece of the pie because now, what if they do, Skip, not to get off track? No. Now they say the team, you can't play videos on your website because it's interfering with what we, for real, Skip. If this is what we come to the NFL, y'all, I mean, the league office, you want to usurp and control every single thing. But this is where we are. But I know make everybody have the same cleats, and you wear them in the game, you wear them in the game.
And the offense moving quickly to the line.
The man,
Love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into that line of vision. And receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and get
a 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And New York set to take the field. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
So after the INT, it's Manning. He's going to loft one deep left side here. They've got his man complete. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. Throwing on first down is Manning. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward.
You're not very good as a tire. I'm working on it.
In motion left is Cruz. For this second half.
Tonight, great to be here. Thank you. So, what of that? Because she's saying yes, the women is a big issue for him. But where was his apology for the Collin family? Where was his apology for the Judge Curiel and all the others here? Well, Megan, I'll remind everyone that Mr. Trump did give a statement early on saying he had said some things that he regretted. There was no narrative because there was a number of things that he has done in fighting because he has been fighting against both sides of the establishment, fighting against the media. And he says, and when you have those contentious debates, you do say things you regret, and he did. But it wasn't a debate when we attacked Judge Curiel and just said he can't decide my case because he's of Hispanic heritage. Well, and that was mainly because of his position on the border. Even out the context of he was talking about specifically, he was talking about Hispanic parents. And Trump wants to build a wall. He couldn't get a fair hearing before this judge. Right, because also because of the affiliation of those judges have with organizations who are against Mr. Trump. That's not what Trump said. That's what you said. He made the statement. No, there isn't. He was asked repeatedly, and he said he's a Mexican, which he wasn't. He's from India. My point, I want to relitigate it right. But her point is, it's not just women. He said so many controversial things. And on the women front, let me ask you, because you come on the show all the time. You obviously love Trump, and you're a great defender of his.
Here's
But when
Smith
you
now on second
what
down.
was your reaction? Look, I have two brothers. I was in sports, so I was around athletes. This truly was two men who had what they thought was a private conversation talking about an attractive woman.
That's exactly what it was, Brandon. When you see man-to-man, that defender runs with the receiver. In this case, they were just taking care of their zone coverages, their responsibilities on the field, and the offense found the open space.
Laughing about it and doing whatever they want to them. But what I will say is that also been
Again, we'll see the pistol here.
Hollywood celebrity types. And that is the entertainment culture. This wasn't just discussion. This was two guys having a discussion. That they actually took place. They were words made 11 years ago. The bigger point here is 59 years old then. It's not like he was 20.
That looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some bite to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or get through contact or trash, it's a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
That we would embarrass us in public. We do these kinds of things when we think we are alone, and that's exactly what this was. Do you think that he can recover with women? You know, based on what we saw tonight, he said, I respect women, and the audience erupted in laughter. No, I absolutely think he can, because there are a lot of women who've already supported this. We look at it by we see what women overwhelmingly, but we do see it. And we do see a lot of women supporting him now. There are several.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well, and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit,
they're not wanting to elect a father figure or even a role model. They knew Mr. Trump was not a marching war because that's what this country needs. They need someone that's going to fight for them. Someone that can break up the monopoly, stop the bullshit, stop the reign of career politicians. Have you ever heard him use terms like that? Have you ever referred to a woman by his term? He does not talk like that to people. This is a private discussion between him. How about Mike Pence? Is there any chance Mike Pence is not staying on as the vice presidential nominee? Oh, not at all. Rumors to that effect. There are always rumors. It's not true. It's not true at all. They're united. They are united. And as for those Republicans who are abandoning Trump and who have been highly critical of him, including Reince Priebus, who hasn't abandoned but has been highly critical, well, I say there are a lot of Republicans who are really looking out for themselves. You know, I think a lot of them felt like they wanted to have some say. There's some of them running their own races. But what I will say is this is a
second down. Here's Smith.
Those Republicans really need to think about why
a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
President Clinton, as he was engaging in very explicit activities in the Oval Office. These are words Mr. Trump used. There's a reason why those are
getting his feet down.
These guys out of the backfield, they got to be good,
At
agile.
Walmart, Wellness Day has an opportunity to impact your health with providing screenings, but also if there are certain things that are a little more serious, we can guide you to the physician.
Get free health screenings and more at Walmart Wellness Day on October 15th from noon to 4 p.m.
Right side. Throwing on third down, Smith finding time.
Oh, man. Fucking screen jump like that.
Reaching the 10-yard line.
Well, the advantage certainly shifted to the defense as we began that third down play, and they found a way to foil it and pick up a first down.
Third time's a charm, right? 2 incompletions. Had to have it on third, and they got it.
Yeah, they stuck with it, weren't daunted at all, and picked it up.
So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. Charles the lone setback. Smith on first down. Screen pass to Charles. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well,
okay, so I have heard about the theory that Samuel Harley may just be the narrator of the storyline behind Game of Thrones. It is a compelling belief, the idea that one of the most lovable characters in the fantasy could actually be the teller of this complex story. As one of the most well-read characters, Sam seems like he would be the one, if anyone, to write the history of this time. The theory has a few different interpretations, but I'm going to give my view of it the best I can. So right off the bat, Game of Thrones comes from the book series The Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. The series is still in its continuation, and it has inspired companion books to be published along the way, including The Lands of Ice and Fire, which includes detailed maps of the regions in the known world, and also The World of Ice and Fire, which is a history book of the fantasy world written from the point of view of a maester in the Citadel. This book is very important in my take on this theory because it has a bias in the favor of House Lannister, and it looks down on both the Starks and the Baratheons due to the intimidating effect the Lannisters have on this maester. This is why it gets really interesting, because since the history book is written with bias, and some of the facts may be stretched in favor of one house, it opens up the discussion that other texts could just as well be biased. Like the series of Song of Ice and Fire, for example. As a reader, you engage yourself in the book with the idea that the author, George R.R. Martin, is laying out his story for you to enjoy. But taking into consideration this theory of Samwell Tarly being the one who wrote these events, makes us think that he may have written in some bias, like how there's not a bad thing really to say about Jon Snow. He's pretty much the poster boy for Westeros, a great warrior, an even better leader, and a very honorable man, much like the late Ned Stark. Yet we never see the Boltons in a good light, or the Lannisters, which are big enemies to the Starks of Winterfell, whose team Sam would definitely be on. You could argue that of course the Starks are viewed as the good guys in the story because they are the main family representative. Daenerys has an equal importance to the narrative, but she's only an individual while we have big storylines for all of the living Starks. A Song of Ice and Fire, the title of the series, could easily be an extra Easter egg towards the validity of this theory. For example, we know that the World of Ice and Fire is a book that actually lives on in fantasy, written for the occupant of the Iron Throne, to catch up on any history of the world that the ruler may need to know. Fans believe the Song of Ice and Fire may very well be a physical book that you can find in the Citadel, written by a wise Maester Samwell further into the future of what we are currently watching and reading. Just imagine the end of the Game of Thrones series. The final books have been written and Season 8 is over. Most likely we would have seen what happened at the culmination of events leading to the War of the Dead versus the Living. We had also learned who rules the Seven Kingdoms at the end of it, if anyone. Maybe the Seven Kingdoms were destroyed, or the people of Westeros barely defeated Winter and all its monsters. People would probably band together, trying to rebuild, trying to make the world right again, just like what happened after the original War for the Dawn. And a surviving Samwell Tarly would be living it up in Old Town or Castle Black with his love.
In this situation with a lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
Love Gilly, and a much older baby Sam. In an attempt to ensure the world doesn't forget where it came from, as to not repeat the events of history. Sam knows more than the next person that reading and learning the knowledge in books is a very smart path to sustainability in the world. Just imagine if the average person, if you've been able to read, flipped through the pages of the books littered throughout the known world. All of the secrets and ancient practices lost in time could be at the fingertips of the people of Westeros and Essos. Have you ever thought about the major power players working the game behind the scenes? Varys, Littlefinger, Tyrion, and even the Maesters. They all share the same source of power through knowledge. When I look at Sam's character in the story and his purpose, I feel like he is there to remind the audience that these people are actually vulnerable. That no matter a character's uniqueness or special features, every person can fall just as hard as the next. Sam isn't known to be super courageous, but yet he fights for what he believes in, just like real people outside of a fantasy series. I really enjoy the concept of Sam being the narrator of the story. He seems to be someone who would want to write about it if he was to survive the rest of the events before the story ends. Let me know your thoughts on it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow.
And he's brought down. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
Good, solid, strong run that not only gets him a nice chunk of yardage, but takes the clock under 4 minutes. And now they're going to play situational football. How many timeouts does the opposition have left? How many runs do they need to call to make sure they bleed out those timeouts? But even more importantly, mentally right now, they hold the advantage. They probably have them at the verge of breaking. And what they want to do is finish them off.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
This is Liz25, and here are 25 curious facts about Doctor Who. I'm your host, probably not the one you were expecting.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself.
25.
When Sidney Newman, the head of drama at the BBC, first created the series, its objective was to engage the entire family on Saturday nights after football. Soccer. The show's aim was to educate children about science and history, using time travel and historical figures like Alexander the Great and Marco Polo.
24.
The Doctor actually is a doctor, though it's not entirely clear what type. However, in a sick bay in the 1967 story The Moon Base, the Doctor was asked, "Listen, are you really a medical doctor?" And he replied, "Yes, I think I was once, Polly. I think I took a degree in Glasgow, England. 1888, I think. Lister."
First down and 10 now for the offensive group.
Oh, neat. Oh, that. Oh, could be worse. No, it couldn't. 23. The Doctor has visited many different planets, but his home planet is called Gallifrey. This is gotta go. 22. That's better. The character of the Doctor was partly inspired by Sherlock Holmes. Comparisons have been made between the Doctor and the famous literary detective. In fact, both the 4th and 11th Doctors have dressed as Holmes in episodes of the series. 21. The Doctor has been married 3 times. He was married to Queen Elizabeth I, Marilyn Monroe, and River Song. 20. Few individuals are said to know the Doctor's true name. River Song whispered something to the 10th Doctor to make him trust her during Silence in the Library / Forest of the Dead, confirmed by writer Stephen Moffat to be his name in the accompanying Doctor Who Confidential. Well, is anyone even asking what is with the glasses? 19. At the height of his success as the Doctor, William Hartnell presented his wife Heather with a solid gold TARDIS topped with a sapphire. They were the Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie of their day. Well, no. 18. The 11th Doctor is known for wearing a fez, but he was not the only Doctor to do so. In Silver Nemesis Part 1 from 1988, the 7th Doctor was briefly seen wearing a fez. His fezes, cool. 17. The title Time Lord, used to describe the Doctor's people, wasn't used until 1969. It was another 4.5 years before his home planet was called Gallifrey on screen. 16. In 1988, Paramount wanted to make a Doctor Who movie starring either Michael Jackson or Bill Cosby as the Doctor. I wonder how that would 15. 12 actors have played the Doctor from 1963 when the show started to today. Tom Baker, the 4th actor to play the Doctor from 1974 to 1981, holds the record for the longest run with 172 episodes. 14. The noise that TARDIS makes was created by rubbing piano strings with a key, but probably wasn't. 13. In 26 years, from 1963 to 1989, Doctor Who only won 2 awards, a Royal Television Society Award and a Writers Guild of Great Britain Award. However, the newly revived series from 2005 onward has received great recognition from critics and the public, winning over 120 awards and being nominated for 230, including BAFTAs and NTAs. Fantastic. 12. Matt Smith is the youngest actor to play the Doctor. He started at age 26. And speaking of, I wonder if we have any fish fingers in the 11. When the original series was struggling with ratings in the 1980s, the show's co-creator Sidney Newman wrote a letter to the BBC One controller Michael Grade suggesting some radical new ideas for the show, including the introduction of a Time Lady. That was 30 years ago, however, and things have truly changed. Doctor Who is currently the BBC's biggest-selling show around the world. 10. During his travels throughout history, the Doctor has met, and in some cases, befriended many famous people, including Leonardo da Vinci, William Shakespeare, Albert Einstein, Charles Dickens, Queen Victoria, Elizabeth I, and Winston Churchill. 9. If you thought Batman was the absolute king when it comes to gadgets, think again. The Doctor has some of the coolest devices that even the Dark Knight would be jealous of, such as the sonic screwdriver, which has many uses, except wood, including the ability to unlock almost anything, and the psychic paper, which can trick people into seeing whatever the user wants them to see printed on it. What do you say? 8. Doctor Who employed the BBC's first female producer. Verity Lambert was Sidney Newman's former production assistant and had no production experience when he first approached her to produce the series. 7. 103 episodes of the series are lost. The BBC destroyed or erased many episodes of Doctor Who in the 1960s and 70s for various reasons, including saving space, leaving a huge gap in the series archives. In an attempt to recover the missing episodes, which mostly consist of first and second Doctor appearances, the BBC and fans continue requesting copies from people who worked on it and put the film of the shows on tape to be returned. 6. The character of Captain Jack, played by John Barrowman, introduced in the first series, was the first openly gay character to be portrayed in the history of the series. But let's be honest, who hasn't fallen in love with Captain Jack? 5. Lara Croft, the main protagonist of the Tomb Raider video games, is a strong influence behind River Song. Like Croft, River Song is an archaeologist known for using a gun. 4. According to Peter Capaldi, the 12th Doctor's costume was inspired by David Bowie.
So that'll do it for my
3.
partner,
In 2007, Hugh Grant told The Sun that he'd been offered the role of the Doctor, but turned it down because he didn't think the new version would be a success. Is he regretting it now? You bet. 2. Homeric reinvention The Mythmakers from 1965 didn't feature Helen of Troy, because the producers decided they wouldn't be able to afford anyone attractive enough. None taken, meaning offense, said the rest of the female cast. 1. Doctor Who is banned in China because government authorities don't want to promote anything that can be seen as rewriting history. What are you doing here?
I don't know, anniversary special? I'm bigger. Oh.
Enjoying our lists? Be sure to click that subscribe button in the top right corner so you don't miss out on new ones every Monday through Friday. Share them with your friends and help us consistently conciliate curiosity. And if you want even more lists, check out these 2 videos here, or just head to our website at list25.com.
Yay. Thank you. Wow, man, this is real, very exciting for us. You know, we're very humble tonight. We've come a long way, you know, from being so hated, even in the industry, to making it to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So it shows that you believe in yourself, believe in what you're doing. Nobody can stop you. You can only stop yourself, and that's what got us here, and I'm very grateful and humble tonight. I'd like to thank my parents, Doris, Hosey Jackson, my brothers and sisters, Clyde, Pat, Sophie, for putting up with them turntables and them Serum Vegas and them speakers and all that damn noise we was making. I'd like to thank my lovely wife, Kimberly, who's been there since day one, through the thick, the thin, and the thick again. And my kids, you know, Daryl, O'Shea Jr., Karima, and Sharif. Thank you for putting up with this crazy life of mine in entertainment, this crazy schedule. You guys make everything normal for me. You guys make everything normal, and I love y'all for that. Hey, you don't make it to the hall by yourself. I like to thank Sir Jinx for teaching me how to rap on beat. I'd like to thank Pat Charbonnet, my first manager, who told me to watch out for Jerry Heller's ass.
I'd like to thank Michael Ashburn for also helping me through that time. I'd like to thank Lee Young, who's been with me for, it seemed like my whole career, and he's walked me through this crazy business. I'd like to thank people like Donovan Smith. I'd like to thank, people like Brian Turner, Mark Cerami, Big Bass Brian, Madeline Smith, and these guys back here, man. Starting with Dr. Dre. Man, thank you so much, Dre. I wouldn't be here without you at all. And thank you for believing in a 15-year-old B-boy, letting me ditch school and hang out with you and make music. Stay in school, kids, goddammit. MC Ren, who's always a ruthless villain. He's our temperament in NWA. He's our conscience. He keeps us on track. DJ Yella, man, thank you, man, he kept it fun, as you can see. DJ Yella kept it fun, even when the whole world seemed like it was against us. DJ Yella was just like, fuck that, where the party at? And we love him for that. I want to thank DOC, who's, he's a member of NWA too, because he helped write a lot of lyrics. I know Ice Cube gets a lot of the credit, but it was a team effort with me, Ren, DOC, Dr. Dre, Eazy-E. And so I want to acknowledge DOC for being down for so long, and I wish he was here. Yo, and to the man, the late great, often imitated, but never duplicated, Easy motherfucking E. This is his vision. He wanted us to be honest. He wanted us to be truthful, say what we feel. He didn't care if we got any record play. He didn't even care if we got signed to a major label. All he cared about was for our story to be recognized and heard. So we love Easy. We miss him. I think about him all the time because, he was such a smart businessman and he knew the pulse of the people. So we're going to miss Eazy-E, and we're grateful to his family for allowing us to do the Straight Outta Compton movie. And we just feel blessed for Eazy-E's life, and I hope we all remember him forever. Now, the question is, are we rock and roll? And I say you're goddamn right, we rock and roll. See, rock and roll is not an instrument. Rock and roll is not even a style of music. Rock and roll is a spirit. It's a spirit. It's been going since the blues, jazz, bebop, soul, R&B, rock and roll, heavy metal, punk rock, and yes, hip hop. And what connects us all is that spirit. That's what connects us all, that spirit. Rock and roll is not conforming to the people who came before you, but creating your own path in music and in life. That is rock and roll, and that is us. So, Rock and roll is not conforming. Rock and roll is outside the box. And rock and roll is NWA. I want to thank everybody who helped induct us into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I just want to tell the world, damn, that shit was dope. Thank you.
So getting into our final video on Blue Marvel, we pick up now with the fallout of Ant-Man's attack on Adam Brashear and Connor's subsequent desire to destroy all life in the world. What Gravo does here is actually really cool. Where the actions of Connor Sims were largely depicted as being in the realm of your average stand-in villain with his motives touched on, the final issue provides some valuable insight into his character. What we're told is that in his mind, Connor is not insane and instead is doing what's best for humanity. In truth, this is almost indicative of the argument of the Watchmen comics when Ozymandias claimed that destroying the major cities of the world would force humanity to work together. Where Sims seeks the outright destruction of all things, the motives behind their actions remain the same, and that the actions of humanity in years past, whether it be the Holocaust under Hitler